Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 million by 1 million strategy roundtable for entrepreneurs. 1M by 1M, as you know, is the first and only global virtual accelerator for technology startups in the world. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue. In support of that mission, we do these free mentoring roundtables week after week after week. This is the 621st session. The event is being recorded. All our roundtable recordings are available on our YouTube channel, 1M1M Roundtables. On Twitter, we're at 1M1M and at Stromana. Although the way Elon Musk is going, I'm not sure what we do with Twitter anymore. He seems to be pissing all over Twitter. Today we have an open roundtable. We have a very large registration list. We're not doing pitches. We're just going to talk to people who are coming in, and we want to get to know you. We want to understand what your questions are, what your interests are, what project you're working on, where are you joining from, and whatever it is that you want to discuss, I'll be happy to discuss. There's also, you must have seen in our communication on LinkedIn and social media in particular about VC rejection, right? There's a enormous number of entrepreneurs who are facing rejections from VCs. So I will spend some time today going over common reasons why people are facing rejections from VCs, but I'm also very willing to take questions about your specific situation and why, whatever it is that you're facing, why you're facing that, and what needs to be done. So these are the call-in instructions if you want to dial in. You can also just talk from the computer. So if you let us know in public chat that you want to talk, then Maureen will make you a panelist and you can just talk through your computer audio. You're welcome to call in through the phone, or you can just dial in through the computer audio. So let me open up the floor. Introduce yourselves, please. You can introduce yourselves in public chat. Where are you dialing from? What are you working on? And where do you need help? What brings you here? And if you want to talk today, talk to me, please let us know so that Maureen can bring you into the conversation. So while you are doing that, let me also start talking a little bit about the issue of VC rejects. You know, we had the former president of Y Combinator, Jeff Ralston, here a few, I think it was last year, the year before, I can't remember. And I said, Jeff, you guys have 97% rejection rate. And at 1M1M, we have 0% rejection rate. We work with anybody who needs help. And Jeff laughed and he said, well, Stromana, we have 98% rejection rate. So yes, you're absolutely right. We are in the business of saying no. Well, in 1 million by 1 million, we are trying to be in the business of saying yes and basically working with everybody who wants to work with us and who needs help within the constraints of our expertise. Our expertise is in technology and technology-enabled services only. So we can work with you if you're working on a tech venture, you're working on e-commerce, you're working on a tech-enabled service of some kind, online education, healthcare, IT, IoT, etc. But we cannot work with you if you are in, for example, life sciences. That's not our expertise area. If you're working in solar panels, that's not really our expertise area. So we're not very helpful in those kinds of areas. And I'll tell you, that's actually a very good segue into the topic of rejections from venture capitalists. The industry we operate in, the startup industry, the technology startup industry, operates mostly in a lean startup mode. So if you're doing something that can be validated in a bootstrap manner, and by the time you hit the road of talking to VCs, you already have some market feedback, some early product market fit, etc. That is the ideal scenario in which VC funding happens. Of course, there are other factors. I will get to that, the other factors, but that's what VCs like the most. If you out of the gate, you need a lot of capital to build your venture, that's going to be really difficult to finance, especially if you're a first-time entrepreneur. That kind of financing does happen, much less, but it does happen, and it happens mostly for repeat entrepreneurs with track record. So if you're a first-time entrepreneur trying to do a fat startup, I would strongly recommend that you do not go down that path, because it's hard to finance fat startups as first-time entrepreneurs. There are ways, but it's not easy. The other part of the VC reject reasoning is that if you are working on something that doesn't seem to be a very high growth, very fast growth business, it's not going to work. So VCs are looking for companies that go from $0 to $100 million in 5 to 7 years. And that is hypergrowth. Hypergrowth is not a natural state of business. Very few companies actually successfully show hypergrowth, going from 0 to 100 million in 5 to 7 years, dollars. And that is what VCs are looking for. And if your business doesn't have a credible path to that, VCs don't necessarily want to invest in you. And to achieve hypergrowth, you have to be operating in a field, in a sector, in a segment of the market that has a very, very large TAM, total available market. So that TAM needs to be in the billions, at least a minimum of $1 billion, to be able to go from 0 to 100 million in 5 to 7 years. So that is another reason why VCs reject companies. I'll get into the nuances of TAM in a moment. Let me see, there's Aritra Ghosh, who's introducing himself, founder of Vidutva. We are building an AI-powered EV charging ecosystem in India. We offer IoT-enabled EV charging station and AI-powered B2B SaaS charging station management system. And who are your customers, Aritra? Are you planning to put up these stations on the roadside, which means the municipality is your customer, or are you trying to work some other way? What is your go-to-market strategy? If you want to talk, Maureen can put you on the panel. If it's easier to... Maureen, can you switch Aritra to panelist so you can talk? And you're welcome to turn your video on if you like.
Hi, this is Aritra. Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk. So yeah, our customers are governments, private real estate, commercial buildings, office buildings.
And do you already have systems installed?
We have, we're not yet installed. So we are in prototyping stage. We have built the 22 kilowatt AC charging station here. That is already done. We are working on launching the CSMS by end of this year, by December. So we have one partner is MCL, who is basically partnering with HPCL, IOCL, basically who owns the petrol, right? So they are sending biofuels to them. So we'll also trying to partner with them for the charging station as well, for petrol pumps, then all the municipalities.
So what is the how are you financing this company?
So far, we have self-funded. We are trying to raise seed funding.
I see.
Yeah,
And
we
is
have
there
five
any
founders.
paying customer in the process?
Not yet. I told you, right? We are on typing stage. We have did not receive any PO yet, but we have received some interest. So until we complete the POC AI powered CSMS fully, we are not able to provide that.
How long will it take you to get to paying customers?
Yeah. From I think by end of this year we'll be ready. So from January we'll be able to give it to the customer. Also install in shopping malls, I think petrol pumps and all.
And what is the pricing model?
There are multiple. First is just selling it to the charging station. We are selling it to the buyers as well as we'll be obviously getting subscription for each charging station. We are giving them AI powered CSM. For that, we'll take subscription as well. And in charging station, we'll have
You're selling
fields to
hardware and
operate
software as a service?
both. Yes, both.
And how expensive is the hardware?
AC charging stations, AC is around 22 kilowatt. Current market price is around 70K. We are selling it for 550 to 55K INR. And the DC one current market price is around 8 to 9 lakhs, 60 kilowatt. We are selling it in 7 lakhs INR.
But why are you selling it under market price? So are you getting a wholesale price that is a discounted price?
Exactly. And so, yeah, we have to
Okay.
capture the market. Basically, we're targeting the eastern region of India. We want to capture that part.
Are you based in Calcutta?
Yeah, Calcutta, and but our company registered in Bhubaneswar.
I see. Okay. And when you, let's say, a gas or a petrol pump agrees to work with you and buy your solution, what is the deal size? How many charging stations are they putting on? Just one per petrol station?
No, per petrol station, they're needing around 3 to 4 charging stations. To charge for EV charging station, the wait time is more. So for a 22 kilowatt charging station, if you're putting an AC, a two-wheeler will take around 10 to 15 minutes to charge. A four-wheeler with 60 kilowatt will take around 45 minutes to 1 hour to go a long distance 300 kilometers. So because the wait time is more, need more than one charging station.
Wow.
They are also
Do they have
they,
room to have? Do they have room to have 4 or 5 charging stations? I'm thinking of the petrol pump at the intersection of Lansdowne Road and Elgin Road, and it's a tiny petrol pump, right?
in India there are around 70,000 petrol pumps,
Yeah.
and each petrol pump is having at least more than three petrol stations, right? And also gas stations as well, which will be replaced by EV charging in next 10 years. So, but it will start with one or two charging stations.
Okay. And what experience are you having in the market in your efforts to raise money?
Yeah, we have just started to really reaching out to VCs and government as well for grants and both.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else you want to introduce yourselves and tell us what you're working on, where you're working, etc.? I see a lot of people in the room. I know there's a very large registration list today, so we just wanted to open it up for you to talk about what you're working on, ask questions, what your issues are, etc. So while you are identifying yourselves, if you let us know, Maureen can make you panelists. You can talk through the computer. Aritra, I just want to say one thing is that keep a solid bootstrapping strategy in place that is get to revenue as quickly as possible. And, while you are pursuing financing, just make sure that you can survive on customer money.
Revenue, right? Yeah, we're trying
Revenue,
to
yes.
achieve that as soon as possible.
Because I'll tell you why. Because there is hardware there in your business. In the business model, there's a hybrid business model, right? There's hardware and software, and this kind of businesses are high touch selling. So you have to sell petrol station by petrol station, and maybe there will be larger municipality deals and so forth. The question that you're going to get from investors is this question that I was talking about earlier, which is this going to grow fast enough? Can you go from $0 to $100 million in 5 to 7 years? And if not, then it's going to be difficult to finance in the traditional venture route. So I think you said something about grants. If the government has grants for alternative energy, electric vehicles, so forth, definitely that would be helpful. But the most helpful is going to be having lots of customers paying for what they're buying, and you grow the company based on revenues and profits. That's going to be the best strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, once you get some revenue going, this is the kind of thing that you may be able to get bank financing for as well. Inventory financing, because it's a hardware piece. There's a hardware piece in this. So where there is inventory financing needed and so forth, you can potentially take bank financing, or instead of buying the inventory, if you can create a supply chain such that you receive the order and then you have to pay for the units, that would be. So I haven't looked into your cash flow. I haven't looked into the payment cycle, but you're going to have to manage that payment cycle and the cash flow to grow this company effectively.
Yeah, actually, we're trying to do that on the credit business so that we can have at least 45 days limit to that. As well as I think we are doing it as part of making India as well. So I think that's why we are trying to get some grants that in the current Indian government is offering as part of making India.
Okay, good. Anybody else? Questions, introductions? I see a lot of people in the room. Please introduce yourselves. You could introduce yourselves in public chat. You could also let us know that you want to talk, and then Maureen will make you panelists and you can chat with me. Aritra just gave his introduction and then in public chat, and then we started a conversation about his business. That's really what this is about. Roundtables are about your businesses, your questions, where you need help. Yes, no? All right. While you're figuring all that out, let me also talk about this issue of TAM. One of the reasons why entrepreneurs get rejected by VCs is that the typical assessment that VCs make is the TAM is not large enough. Now, often we see, fairly large TAM analysis that is actually not completely defensible. And what that means is that you have taken too much of the market within your target market, whereas the solution that you're bringing to the market is applicable to a smaller subset of the total market that you have taken into account. So, I'll give you an example. Let's say you say that your target audience is women in the age group 18 to 65, and you've developed your TAM model and TAM analysis based on that assumption. But when you actually look at the business, really the target audience is women in the 25 to 35 age group, and that drastically slashes the TAM. And that would mean that your TAM may not get to the level at which you can build $0 to $100 million plus business within a 5 to 7 year window. So this is, and I just gave you that example. That example could be applicable to different industry sectors. If you're doing B2B, could be applicable to the size of businesses that are your customers, that are your potential customers. All of those are possibilities. So, just be careful as you model your TAM. TAM is kind of like a make or break factor in raising financing. So if you are, if you look for financing and if you cannot defend a large TAM, that is going to be one of the reasons why you will not succeed in raising money. And again, folks, those of you who've come in later, there's a very, very high rejection rate of venture financing in the industry. 99% of the entrepreneurs who go out to raise money get rejected. So it's a fact of life almost for entrepreneurs to have to factor that in and create alternatives of how they can still move forward. And sometimes the rejection is for your current state of affairs. So let's say you have a business that is not yet validated and you don't really have paying customers, etc. So your VCs would say you're too early. That's also a possibility. So you have to kind of bootstrap your way to a more mature stage and then bring in VCs or look for VCs a little bit later when you have more validation, when you have more progress and more evidence that you are succeeding in the market. So that's another reason why investors reject entrepreneurs. Aritra, you have a question? Please go ahead.
There are early stage VCs as well, right? Who fund early stage startups or innovative startups as well, right?
I'm having difficulty hearing you. What is the question?
Am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible. Yeah.
My question is, there are early stage VCs who fund early stage startups as well.
Yes. Yes, there are early stage VCs. So the venture capital market is also split into stages. So you have pre-seed, seed, post-seed, pre-series A, small series A, large series A. That is the early stage market. Beyond series A are series B, series C, series D. Those are the later stage investments. But even within the early stage market, there's quite a range now. So there is a pre-seed market, but pre-seed is a very, very difficult stage to raise money for. Most entrepreneurs actually raise pre-seed money from friends and family or from personal savings or grants and so on, or bootstrapping, just pure customer grit, pure bootstrapping. Bootstrapping features very large. In people who succeed eventually, bootstrapping features very, very large in their success path, because if you can bootstrap your way to a certain level of success, investment raising is much, much more viable. By the way, Aritra, if you want to learn about these different stages of financing, there's a lot of courses that I have published about how investors think about pre-seed, how investors think about seed, post-seed, etc. And you can take those courses and learn about it. Archana is sending me a private message. Archana, I'm just going to read it out because I can't take private calls right now. So she says, "Good morning, Sramana. I would love to get your advice on a non-traditional business. I want to create successfully. Number one, for empowering women, especially mothers globally, with the knowledge, training, education I share, awaken them to develop, test, prototype, buy, operate a farm and specific products from the farm, to franchise that product business, renewable energy concepts into impactful technologies, products, create, develop an online show, conversation for the direction forward, tech, environment, agriculture, DEI, humanity, etc. Cultural engagements, online show. I can use your insights on creating successful business. Archana, there are probably 10 business ideas in this paragraph that you have written. You have to pick one and execute the hell out of one idea. You have to validate, you have to position, you have to do one thing. You cannot do so many things. Nobody succeeds by doing so many things. So there is if you go to my Udemy courses, there's a course on how to test startup ideas. You have so many ideas. This may be a good point to do that course and then start testing those ideas and validating those ideas and see which one you really want to build on. You cannot, it's okay at the ideation stage. We have companies in the program at the ideation stage, but I would strongly recommend that you run your ideation stage through a formal process of validation and testing and so forth, and develop one idea that has legs that you can build a real business on. Because what you've written here is kind of motherhood and apple pie. You're going to boil the ocean, and that's not how to build businesses. Maureen, Archana, I think, wants to talk. So if you could turn her into panelist, and then she can talk. Archana, you're sending me private messages. Don't send private messages. Now you should be able to unmute yourself and talk.
Hi.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Great. Okay. So yes, I completely understand these are a bit too many ideas. So some of these I've done in the past. And it's so great to tap into your business expertise and skills. I appreciate that. I have done.
Dialing from, Archana?
Well, I have lived in the Midwest for a very long time, and I'm out of town right now in Colorado.
Okay, great. So you said something about you've done cultural engagements, Mothers Awakening online conversations in the past. So tell me more about what is the business angle of this?
Business is something I want to learn and implement successfully, and then spread that, give it away to other mothers. And what I've done over the years, which is non-business, and I want to learn the part that I don't know, which is creating successful business. I have done these engagements as engagements. So I've created cultural events, invited different cultural.
I get it. Okay, so hang on. I'm going to give you some resources to look into in the next segment. Let me check first. Is there anybody else who wants to talk or who wants to introduce himself or herself? Please go ahead. I'm going to go to the next segment and start giving you resources. In the meantime, we will come back to, please introduce yourselves, let us know that you want to talk, and we'll come back to these discussions in just a moment. So all our resources are at 1Mby1M.com. You will find a blog series that is very effective and free. You can also start learning from Entrepreneur Journey's book series that is 12 books based on case studies. If you read these books, that's also a good starting point for your learning. These roundtables happen every week. You're welcome to come as much as you want, and you know, discuss with me, like as we are doing, ask questions. You can pitch once. So you can do one pitch for free, and then after that you need to be in the premium program to have more ongoing conversations. Preeti, I will come to you in just a moment. I saw your message. Preeti Chetri wants to introduce herself. I will come to you in just a moment. Let me go over these resources and then we'll have our conversation. Maureen, maybe you can put Preeti on the panel so she can talk as well when I'm ready for her. The premium program is for extensive methodology guidance. You have access to our full curriculum there. We help you with business development. We help you with strategy consulting in this kind of online roundtables. We help you with financing. We help you with media relations, etc. There is a free self-assessment, especially when you're in the ideation stage. These are questions that VCs ask entrepreneurs. It's a very good idea for you to go through this self-assessment and ask yourselves these questions. So if you have an idea, take these questions and try to run your idea through these questions and see if you can answer them. There is a bootstrapping course plugged to the pins to the top of the blog. It's less than 1 hour long, and I would like you to do that course. As part of your business education, you should do that course for sure. We also have tons of Udemy courses, almost 75 Udemy courses. Maureen, please provide the link where people can get the Udemy coupons to get courses at discounts. This is one place where Arithra, if you look through the How Investors Think courses on Udemy, that's a very good place for you to learn about how financing works. So this is one way also, Archana, you can start your business education. So there is a ton of material that that you can, educate yourselves on. The link is just just there. Archana, you're again sending me messages privately. Don't send me messages privately. It doesn't help because I'm not doing the private public chat. Maureen has put the link to the coupons in the public chat. Another way you can pretty much get a very cheap entrepreneurship MBA is by doing the 1Mby1M basic curriculum only program. It's only $99 a month. And if you can just go through the entire core curriculum, the entire, elective, you will have a tremendous amount of knowledge about startups, how they work. That's another way you can do your business education, Archana. It's particularly for you. So, go to the website 1Mby1M.com, dig around what to expect from premium, what to expect from basic, video FAQs, full description of the curriculum. Remember I said in the curriculum, in the 1M1M curriculum on our website, not on the Udemy site, on our website, there is core and elective. The core is something every entrepreneur needs to master. So if you are missing core business knowledge, this is a very good way for you to fill that gap and get moving. We are a case study based program. The who's who of technology entrepreneurship have been part of building this curriculum, and we have developed an enormous body of content, 4,000 plus hours of content, based on which we have stitched together this very well organized, powerful program. It's very inspirational because these are case studies of people who have built huge businesses from nothing. And they're sharing with you how they've done it. And that's incredibly powerful. Now, if you're coming here for financing, you should go through the investor introduction section of the website and learn what our investor introduction policies are. Our philosophy is bootstrap first, raise money later. Do not go to VCs as beggars, go as kings. So bootstrap first, raise money later is essential to our methodology. That's it. We can come back to questions. Preeti, I'll get to in just a moment. We have 5 roundtables in October and November. You can book your slot and present your business. I'll take more questions. Preeti, please unmute your line and tell me what you're working on and where are you dialing from?
Ramana.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Preeti Chitri. I'm from Nepal. So I've been working as an engineering manager in an IT company. So it's been like more than 10 years I've been in this industry. And I want to now kind of start my own
Yeah.
company. I have a team of developers and front-end developers, back-end developers, mobile teams, and everyone. So what we're facing the challenge is we need to, dive into the customers, because in Nepal, IT development is progressing, but in a very slow pace. So we need clients from international market like US, UK, Australia. So the gap to get the clients to outreach them. So we're having challenge on that part as well.
Yeah, so you're going to need to pick a domain in which you have differentiated expertise. And, if you're trying to build a services business, you still have
Mm-hmm,
to do the positioning of that business and create a strategy, a customer acquisition strategy accordingly.
mm-hmm,
So, Preeti, I would recommend that you do 1M by 1M basic
mm-hmm.
and learn how to build a business. You know the technical side, you need to learn the business side and develop a go-to-market strategy. And I'll be happy to, if you decide that you want to continue further and come into the premium program, I will be happy to help you further. We've done a lot of bootstrapping product companies using services businesses. So I will be happy to coach you on that.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Folks, if anybody has questions about the 1M by 1M program after this session, you're welcome to contact Irina Patterson. Her email is irina@1mby1m.com, and she'll be happy to talk to you on WhatsApp, Skype, phone, email, whatever. But she's available as the representative on the 1M by 1M side. Aritra, you have another question. Please go ahead.
Yes. My question is, uh, can you elaborate on that part on product to market strategy? How we should build a product to market strategy, and what are the things we need to take care of?
Are you asking what are the fundamentals of go-to-market?
No, I'm asking what when you're planning for product to market strategy, right? So is it just only
What is
launching the
product to
product?
market? Are you talking about the go-to-market strategy? When you have a
Yeah,
product, you're
basically
trying
that's
to
what.
take it to market?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so go do 1M by 1M basic. Go do the curriculum. I can't give you the whole curriculum in 2 minutes here. That's why we've created all these resources. Go do the curriculum on 1M by 1M basic. Anybody else? Any other questions, folks? Last call. If you haven't introduced yourself, you're very welcome to still introduce yourself. If you want to talk, you can talk. Maureen will put you on the panel. You can ask questions. You can also introduce yourselves through the public chat. See, there is no shortcut to learning. If you're not willing to do curriculum, 1 million by 1 million is not going to work for you. 1 million by 1 million has the resources with which we can teach you stuff, we can show you stuff, we can advise you on go-to-market strategy, we can advise, but the fundamentals of strategy, you're going to have to learn through the curriculum. And if you're not willing to put in that work, then we cannot work with you. I always give this analogy. If you want to lose weight and get in shape, you go to a gym. A gym has machines. But if you just buy a gym subscription and don't get on those machines and don't do the work, you will not get anything out of a gym membership. So, so don't join the program, the 1M by 1M program, unless you are willing to do the work, because otherwise you will not be able to learn what you need to learn to be successful as a business. All right. Who else? So for example, Arithra, we have a module in the go-to-market strategy customer acquisition. There's a module called Sales 2.0, which I think you need to go through and learn. So if you join 1M Basic, you will have, or Premium, you will have access to that module. You're going to go through that module, learn that methodology, implement that methodology. We have taught many entrepreneurs how to build a B2B sales strategy using that. This is a tried and true process, but you're going to have to study and learn that. Okay, who else? All right, I don't see any other hands up, so I'm going to wrap up the session today. I will see you next week. Bye. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Smana.